Housing is Mayor Park's flagship youth housing policy, offering rental housing at below market rates in prime locations near transit stations. In international news, Iran has vowed to deliver harsh punishment to Israel, which it accuses of being behind the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh on Wednesday. Israel has not directly addressed the attack in Tehran, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu mentioned that Israel had inflicted crushing blows on its enemies recently, including the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander in Lebanon just hours before the Tehran incident. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. Busan is currently under a heat wave warning with the mercury averaging 32 degrees Celsius. Afternoon highs today is forecast to peak around 33. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Are you into the Olympic Games these days? It seems that many people are watching the Games because it's a global event that takes place every 4 years and there are many games to watch. One thing that's unfortunate though is that you have to watch most of the games in the middle of the night because of the time difference. Still, the thrill of watching a fun game live is enough to beat out the tropical night. And today we're going to find out various things that were recorded for the first time in the Olympics. It's Thursday, August the 1st, 2024. My name is Nick. This is 2 p.m. Reboot. Let's get it started. Don't you just love that vibe? Starting off a Thursday afternoon, you just listened to Mrs. Postman by Black Pumas. Now, last year, American psychedelic soul band Black Pumas have shared Mrs. Postman as the second track released ahead of their anticipated second album, Chronicles of a Diamond. It was co-written by the band's Eric Burton and Adrian Casada, along with keyboardist Jaron Marshall, and the song marks the first time Black Pumas have co-written with another musician. But regarding the lyrics, Burton added, I was particularly thinking about how much joy the postman can bring to people's lives. But I also wanted to encourage the people in my family and anyone else working a blue-collar job. I know from first-hand experience how arduous it can be. And I wanted to send a message saying, I still see the beauty and light in you. I think those are beautiful lyrics, and I'm one of the many people that appreciates the postmen and the postwomen who do their jobs all over the world. Some really good words were used here. The word arduous. It's an arduous job. 되게 힘들다라는 뜻이에요. It's arduous, it's grueling, but it's worth it for sure. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to the 2 p.m. Reboot. How are you all doing? It's Thursday. We've left hump day, and we're on our way towards the weekend. I hope you're enjoying the heat outside, staying out of it, maybe staying cool as well. Now, in the beginning, we were kind of talking a bit about the Olympics. I'm curious, have you been watching the Olympics? Do you have a favorite sport? I know the time difference, like we said. It makes it kind of difficult to watch, but still, if you can catch it, it's so thrilling seeing your country going up against another country in friendly sportsmanship. The weather, though, I think it makes it quite unappetizing. Is that the right word? I just don't want to do sports in this heat. Nonetheless, I hope you're having a great afternoon, enjoying wherever you are. Now, live in the studio in Busan this Thursday afternoon is me. Welcome to the program. You're listening to us on BEFM 90.5 and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Cheongwan and Doksan areas. I'm your temporary host, Nick, and you can also listen to us in Seoul, TBS EFM 101.3 FM and GFN Gwangju 98.7 FM. The show is now being streamed on YouTube, so just go to youtube.com and then search for BEFM or Busan 영어방송. Unfortunately, due to music copyright issues, people watching through YouTube can't listen to the music. The music is going to be muted while the song is playing. However, you can listen to the songs with our smartphone app or on FM radio. So just switch on the radio or turn on your phone app. I know it's not convenient, but unfortunately, it is the best we can do. So while we work to fix this situation, please bear with us. We'll have the names of the songs playing as well, so you can search for the song yourself and listen along if you want to. I'm going to let you know what's coming up on today's show. In hour one, we have Hot Off the Press, trendy music that has been newly released. I'm going to tell you about the artist and the track as well. And then after that, we have Parenting 101. Sounds like an interesting segment where a guest Matthew comes in and introduces news about childcare and parenting, and we'll listen to their experience as well. I'm not a parent myself, but I look forward to maybe learning, I guess. But that just covers the first half. In the second half, we have Daily List. There is a list for everything, and we'll find them all. Daily List covers all the lists from the best to the worst. And today's topic is Olympic Games first. Inside Korea too as well. I'll let you know important updates on the country in which we live. Some of the updates we'll be going over are the National Museum draws record number of foreign visitors in January to June. Also, the Blue House has extended reservation hours, opens more gates for visitors, and Korea is selected as Destination of the Year by British Travel Magazine. Lots of news coming your way, and we also have Perfect Playlist, where we pick the best songs for every situation. But before we move on to our next segment, I'm going to give you today's text topic. The question is, listen up everybody, what is your favorite Olympic sport and why? What's your favorite Olympic sport? 네, 여러분이 올림픽에서 가장 좋아하시는 종목이 무엇인지 알려주세요. Let me know what your favorite is. Send it to pound 9050, 샵 9010, which will cost you 101. You can also send it through Kakao Talk, search for BEFM or Busan 영어방송 in Korean. Add us, send a message for free, or if you don't like that, you can always use the smartphone app, search for BFM again at any app store. You can listen to our programs, leave us comments after logging in. Let me know there are loads of different sports in the Olympics. There's fencing, football, rugby maybe, I'm not sure, but there's hockey. There's loads. Curling. Curling is a fantastic one. Let me know your favourites. We're going to be right back with Hot Off the Press after this song. This is Daydreaming by Young Franco. We just listened to Daydreaming by Young Franco, and now it is time for Hot Off the Press. Now, from Monday to Friday, we bring 2 new hot tracks from the world of music. Not just new and hot tracks, but apparently the newest and hottest tracks from the world of music. A lot of songs are released every single week, and we choose the best ones and introduce them to you. So get ready, because these are going to be 2 bangers coming your way. The first song is 100 Lives by Jonas Blue and Ayla. Now, British DJ Jonas Blue teamed up with London-based Dutch singer-songwriter Ayla to release a new song called 100 Lives. This marks the first collaboration between Jonas Blue and Ayla. Jonas Blue said of the song, 100 Lives started out as a piano instrumental created randomly after watching the Robbie Williams documentary and feeling inspired by that big piano pop sound. Fast forward to a month or so later, and I pulled up the instrumental in the studio with Ayla and songwriter-producer Ollie Green, and the lyrics and story just started to flow. I like the process of creating music. You have an inspiration, you kind of write something similar to that, and then the creative juices just start flowing. And also, Robbie Williams was an inspiration. I used to love Robbie Williams when I was a kid. He never made it big in the US or in Korea, I think, but he was a huge icon in the UK. For our next song, do you like R&B? Now, I used to love R&B when I was younger. I remember my first ever single I bought was, what was it, Nelly and Kelly, Dilemma. You remember that song? You know, Nelly, I love you. I'm not going to sing it, but it was a great song anyway. This song is for you R&B lovers. It's Ground by Khalid. Now, R&B lovers will love being fed this summer. Several high-profile album releases have come in recent months, and several more are on schedule in the coming weeks. One anticipated release is the third studio album from Texas singer-songwriter Khalid. He's set to drop the set titled Sincere next month and is giving us one more listen before its release with new single Ground. This song is yet another mellow cut from the singer-songwriter, with him singing of the literal high times. I don't know if this was meant to be in the script, but as he relaxes into the groove. He sings of candy-colored skies and sunsets as his consciousness melts into his surroundings, after taking what sounds like a certain wild edible vegetable and then contemplating the world and life. You know, it's a lot of old songs, especially the Beatles, were made while taking products of the earth, right? And maybe that explains, you know, why they're so creative and funky and wacky. Who knows? But these are two songs for Hot Off the Press today. We're going to listen to 100 Lives by Jonas Blue Ayla and Ground by Khalid. Welcome back. You were just listening to two songs from Hot Off the Press. We had 100 Lives by Jonas Blue and Ayla, and then that last song we just listened to was Ground by Khalid. Definitely very different songs, very interesting. The second song, you could definitely feel the kind of psychedelic R&B vibes. I hope you enjoyed them. Every single day, we bring you Hot Off the Press for the newest and the most popular songs. Welcome back, everyone. It is the 2 p.m. Reboot. My name is Nick, your temporary host, filling in for Casey while he's away. We got some messages coming in. We have Chae Sung Nim saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon, my friend. And I actually saw you messaged in, not to this show, but earlier. You said yesterday was your birthday. Correct me if I'm wrong. If that's the case, 생일 축하합니다 for yesterday. I hope you had a great day. We have Pengsu Appanim coming in on YouTube saying, hi Nick, where did Casey go? Is he on vacation or something? Casey is just away for personal matters temporarily. I'll be taking over for a little while until he's back, but thank you for joining in. And I was also asking you today's text topic. The question was, what is your favorite Olympic sport and why? 여러분이 올림픽에서 가장 좋아하시는 종목이 무엇인지 알려주세요. 오늘의 텍스트 토픽이었습니다. We have Neil Nim sending in saying 탁구, 핑퐁, 테이블 테니스, 핑퐁 생 부산에서 탁구 대회도 개최했고 운동으로도 좋아서 저는 탁구 제일 좋네요. 저도 동의합니다. I love ping-pong. I'm okay at playing it, but when I watch it on the Olympics, it's like two superheroes playing a sport. They're so fast. You can't see their arms. You can't see the ball moving. It's insane. It's superhuman. I definitely agree with you that ping pong is one of the most crazy and interesting to watch sports at the Olympics. Keep sending your messages in. What is your favorite Olympic sport? Start the conversation. You can send your messages to pound 9050, 샵 9050, which will cost you 101, or a Kakao Talk message. Just search for BEFM or Busan영어방송 in Korean and send us a message for free. You can also download the smartphone app at BEFM and any app store, and you can listen to our programs and leave us comments after logging in. We're going to take a quick logo break, but coming right up, we have a segment called Parenting 101 with Matthew in the studio. We'll be right back. All right, it is time for Parenting 101, where our guest Matthew introduces news about childcare and parenting, and we get to listen to his experiences. Hello there.
Hello there. Good to be here.
It's our first time meeting.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you. You're Matthew, and this is actually your first time filling in for this, I heard.
Yes, I've done other shows here about movies, about the Guinness Book World Records, but this is my first time doing parenting.
Are you a parent?
I am a parent.
Okay, that's
a good thing. I have 3 kids. I have a 10-year-old boy, an 8-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old girl.
So you're an expert.
My family had 5 kids.
Okay.
So compared to my parents, I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you're doing great, man. Before we begin, got a quick question.
Yes.
Today's text topic, I want to ask you, what is your favorite Olympic sport?
So I have 2, actually. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So
sure.
number 1, gymnastics.
Okay.
Because they're just amazing. And when I was growing up, there were very dramatic moments.
Yeah.
Like that was back in America versus, Romania. There were great moments. But my real number 1 is the marathon.
Really?
So the reason is I once went to the New York Marathon.
Yeah.
And I saw the fastest guys in the world run past me at the 19-mile mark. Oof. And it was absolutely amazing how fast they were going.
Near the end, they must be exhausted.
Yeah, but they were just flying. So I just have an enormous amount of respect for those marathon runners. I love the marathon.
Awesome. Yeah. I guess it's, the marathon is like one of those things like football or soccer where you can watch it outside of the Olympics, but it's also fun to watch it during the Olympics as well.
Yeah, and I feel like, with football, there's the World Cup.
Yeah.
But the marathon in the Olympics is one of the biggest races. It's not like junior, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Right, it's the best of the best. So I love the marathon.
Brilliant. There you go.
Yep.
Everyone tell us what your favorite Olympic sports are. So we are here for Parenting 101. I'm not a parent myself, but I'm very excited to hear your wisdom that you're going to impart.
All right. So today I wanted to talk about an article that I found on the parents.com website, and it discusses the topic of free-range parenting. Free-range parenting. So I'm curious, have you ever heard of it?
I just imagined children running in a field.
Right. So, free range, usually you think of like free range chickens.
Right.
Or free range meat, right?
Yes.
It's more healthy meat. So, free range parenting, I'll give you a little background.
Okay.
So, in 2008, a columnist in New York named Lenore Scananzi, she wrote an article titled, Why I Let My 9-Year-Old Ride the Subway Alone.
Oh.
So why I let my 9-year-old ride the subway alone.
In New York, of all places.
In New York. But New York actually got much nicer than it was in the past.
Yeah.
So in 2008, New York was actually pretty safe.
In 2008?
In 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, that article created a lot of controversy, right? Because some people thought it was a great idea, and then other people thought, this woman is crazy. This is just neglect.
Yeah.
But the advocates for it, who thought this was a good idea, they came up with this term, free-range parenting.
Okay. You can kind of get the vibe, free range, give them a bit more freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
So the world is out there for them to explore without their parents right next to them every day.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what is your initial reaction to the 9-year-old riding the subway, New York City subway alone?
You see, I don't know, because I'm not from New York. I've been.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't let my child at 9 years old take it.
Ride the subway. How about the Busan subway?
Oh, yeah. Korea is tenfold safer, I feel, than New York.
Safer. How about the Seoul subway?
Yes, but it's
Because
a bit busier.
there the issue is that they can get lost.
I know.
Yeah.
At 9 years old, do they have the cognitive capabilities to figure out where they are?
Right.
Do you have a 9-year-old?
I have an 8-year-old and I have a 10-year-old.
Would you let them?
The Busan subway, it kind of depends where they're going. Do they have to transfer? Right? If they don't have to transfer, I'm like, oh, you can do it.
Okay.
When you're but anyway, the point of free-range parenting is that it's reacting against what you might have heard of helicopter parenting.
Right.
Right.
Yes. You're just buzzing around them the whole time.
Right. So you don't want them to do anything dangerous.
Yes.
So let me give you a few ideas about what free-range parenting is. Because it's not just like, well, do whatever you want. You go out there.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, or just be lazy.
That's irresponsible parenting.
Right. There are some principles involved. So I have 4 principles.
Yep.
So number 1, you learn through experience in natural ways.
Okay.
Right? So for example, let's say it's dangerous to jump off a wall to another wall.
Right.
Like my second son loves doing this, him and his friends.
Yeah.
Parkour. Do you know parkour?
Yeah, parkour.
Right. So they love it.
Okay.
Now, the helicopter parent will say, you're going to get hurt. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the free-range parent will say, you might get hurt, but getting hurt is going to teach you a lesson, right? And the next time, you're going to know through your own experience that this is a bad idea.
Oh, okay. I
Right?
totally... I'm not a parent myself, and I would never judge anyone's parenting styles because it's their child's and they do what they see fit.
Right.
But I see quite a large dichotomy of some parents who are like, 하지마, 내려, get down, don't do that.
위험해.
And
Yeah.
exactly, 위험해. And then I see some parents looking at their child when they fall over and then just going, 괜찮아, just get up.
Right.
So you see a kind of difference in parenting styles. Not saying that one is better than the other, but it's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
But, if you never fall down, how are you ever going to learn to walk?
Yeah.
Right? For babies, everyone does this.
Yes.
This is doing this at a later age.
Right.
If that makes sense. So number 2, kids need a lot of unscheduled activities. Now, important thing, activities, not sitting on the sofa watching TV, but they're unscheduled activities. So in Korea, for example, kids might finish school, they go to taekwondo, they go to the 영어 학원, they go to piano, right? They have a schedule.
Schedule, structure.
Right.
Yes.
So, but imagine, let's say you want to learn basketball. Okay. So you go to a basketball school, right? And the coach is there. The coach is the referee. Coach teaches you. If there's a problem between the kids, the coach kind of intermediates.
Right.
But on the other hand, let's say you just go to the park and play basketball with your friends.
Yeah.
Right? Who decides all the rules?
Yeah, it's kind of arbitrary.
Well, it's not arbitrary. The kids have to work it out between each other.
Yeah.
If there's a disagreement, who solves it?
The oldest kid.
Well, maybe, or
The biggest kid.
the biggest kid.
It requires a democracy between the kids, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the idea is that you're learning with each other in your peers
Right.
apart from an adult.
Right.
Right. The important thing is you want some activities where there's not an adult in the room that you can always like go to.
Exactly. I do definitely agree with this style of learning because you are forced to problem solve and work as a team to come to a solution.
Right.
And I think doing both is very important. So, I did football when I was a kid. 80% of the time I was down the park with my friends, but the other time it was structured training so I could learn those things and then hopefully reproduce them with my friends.
Right. And you can learn teamwork naturally without
Yeah.
the coach telling you exactly what you have to do.
Yeah.
Number 3, kids earn their independence. So, for example, let's say you do something and you do it well, then you get rewarded with more freedom. So let's say I let my son walk to the park across the street.
Yeah.
He does it successfully. He doesn't get hurt. I say, good job. Now you can walk to the park in the next neighborhood.
Level up.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're earning freedom as you go, and the kids get more responsibility. They feel more successful. They become more independent.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not just like, do what you want. It's step by step
Yeah.
increasing. Yeah.
It is structured in a way, but it's a healthy, kind of freeing structure, I guess.
It's a structure, but it's a structure coming from their own successes, not me, the parent, just kind of giving it to them.
Hypothetically, if
Yep.
they go to cross the street and they couldn't do it for whatever reason, what would you do then? Would you repeat the steps until they succeed, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd let them try it again until they were successful.
Okay.
And then once they're successful, then you give them more freedom.
Right.
Right? And kids, they like being successful.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, I did this. I can go to the next one.
They feel
Oh,
a bit
I went to
proud.
that one. I can go to the next one.
It gives them the confidence and the
Right.
motivation.
Right.
Awesome.
And my last point, parenting is about building kids up, not instilling fear. So before when you said, 위험해, 내려, right? A lot of that is, I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to get hurt, right? The motivation is that I don't want to get hurt.
Right.
But the point of free range parenting is not that. You're building them up because they want to succeed,
Yes.
right? The world's a dangerous place. Bad things are going to happen. But you want to teach them to confront the world confidently.
Yeah.
Right? And if they do that when they're 8, 10, 12, 14, later they finish university as adults, right? What are they going to do? They're going to confront the world confidently. They're going to accept challenges.
Yeah.
So there you go. Those are 4 principles underlying the whole idea of free range parenting.
Okay.
What do you think? Do they make sense?
I mean, it kind of is how I guess I grew up. A lot of kids in England, you have structure. You go to school, of course, but when I used to come home after school, that was it. I'd go out, I'd go to the forest with my friends, cause a bit of mischief, have some fun,
Okay.
Learn social skills, a bit of rough and tumble, got injured a lot, fractured a few bones.
Right.
But I grew into a relatively decent adult, I think. So
Okay.
I think it worked.
I'm curious, where did you live? Were you like in London? Or were you-
Outside of London, in the suburbs, so there was a lot of greenery.
Oh, okay.
It was like a small town in
Okay.
a way. So it was a lot of nature.
All right.
Now, we're in the middle of this segment, Parenting 101. We're going to take a quick song break, and then we'll be right back for the second half of this. We're going to listen to Coming Home by Artbat.
Cross the fields. Mother, I'm coming home.
That was Coming Home by Artbat. Welcoming you back to 2 p.m. Reboot. I'm your host, Nick, and we are in the middle of Parenting 101 with none other than Matthew. Welcome back to the show if you're just tuning in. This segment is all about talking about parenting, different parenting styles, sharing some opinions as well. We're back with Matt, so let's kick off where we left off.
Right. So we're talking about free-range parenting.
Right.
And earlier I kind of explained what that was, what the principles are that underlie it. The reason I chose this topic is because for me it's really interesting.
Yeah.
My first son is 10, but he's disabled.
Okay.
So it's limited how much freedom he can actually have.
Okay.
My second son is 8.
Yep.
And, I'm constantly being pulled apart between giving him more freedom or, making sure he doesn't get hurt.
Is this based on the experiences you had with your first son that you're kind of trying to do the same with your second, or?
Oh, no. So my first son, he is autistic.
Okay.
So, he can't have that much freedom the way a normal kid would.
Okay.
So, that's sort of apples and oranges.
Okay.
But just my second son, he's getting older. He wants more freedom.
Yeah.
And you're always like, do you give it to him or do you hold him back?
Right.
And the free range parenting style always says, well, give it to them a little bit and give it to them a little bit and let them explore and learn.
Right.
So, for example, I have 2 examples just from the last 2 days, actually.
Okay, yeah, tell us.
My 8-year-old, him and his friends, they wanted to walk to Gwangali Beach from our apartment.
How far away do you live?
It's not that far.
Okay.
And the thing is, we walk to Gwangali a lot.
As a family?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he knows the way. He's not going to get lost, but he's never done it by himself.
Okay.
And my wife said no.
Okay.
And I 60% agreed with her.
Okay.
But 40% was like, oh, come on. You let him try it. He walks all the way down there by himself. He comes back. He comes and feels like a man.
I'm not a parent, so I don't want to give advice.
Right.
Have you ever tried following sneakily behind? Like, give him the freedom, but watch from afar.
I have thought about that, but I feel like I'm like a spy in a movie. And if he saw me...
The trust is ruined.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? He's walking down, we gave him the freedom, and then he turns around and sees me like...
Daddy!
Behind a tokboki sign. Yeah, I thought I had freedom.
Okay.
So, no, I haven't done that.
All right.
But this morning, my son had to go to the dentist, and then my daughter had to go to the doctor. Same building.
Yeah.
My son finished at the dentist. He said, "Can I walk home?" And this was like halfway between our apartment and Gwangali Beach.
Okay.
And he'd never walked that far before. And I said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Was your wife in?
No, it was just me and my kids.
Just you and your son.
It was my decision.
Okay.
And he made it home in one piece.
Yeah.
He looked around outside. So we went outside together. He looked around. He said, "I know where I am." He got home. And I feel like right now, compared to 9 o'clock this morning, he's a bit more confident and a bit more successful in life.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he got hit by a motorcycle on the way home,
That's on you.
It's on me, right? So, it's constantly a struggle to decide which way to go.
I guess risk versus reward. The risks are there, but if he succeeds, then it's great. It's going to keep snowballing into something greater.
Right.
Did you tell your wife after? And
I did.
She was cool.
She was cool.
Awesome.
Yes. So it was good. I think, but a lot of things. So he's he can go to the store by himself.
Yeah.
So let's say we need some milk.
Yep.
So I say, "Hey, can you go to the mart and buy some milk?" And he gets his money, goes down, comes back. I know a lot of 8-year-olds that couldn't begin to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not like trying to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back.
Right.
But I'm saying this free range parenting idea, makes your kids more independent. So I think I've seen it be successful, and therefore, I'd like to share it with other people.
That's great. And I think just, even if not everyone wants to take that approach, just listening to the other side, it could maybe give them a bit of motivation or a few ideas to maybe expand their style of parenting. I used to, I don't have kids of my own, but I worked in a nursery school for a few years.
Okay.
So I was present with all of the education they would undertake. And I must say, at least compared to English education when I was a kid, the kids learn so much about society from their classroom. So almost every day there'd be lessons about what to do if someone talks to you, what to do if you need help. And so they're very well prepared in their heads and what to do in case they run into some kind of emergency or uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
But I guess putting that into practice at some point is vital.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the one big kind of what do you want to call it? Wrench in the works. Is there a Korean idiom like
Wrench in the works?
Kind of mixes everything up a little bit.
Okay.
Compared to when I was a kid.
Okay.
Do you mind if I ask how old are you?
I am 33.
33. All right. So I'm 42. Bit of a difference. But my son and when I was a kid, what do you think the big difference is?
When you were a kid?
When I was a kid versus my son now.
Technology, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? The smartphone.
Yeah.
So, before my mom would let me out and we'd play basketball, play football. We love sports.
Okay.
Nowadays, I'll see a lot of kids out with unscheduled time and they're sitting on the playground. And guess what they're doing?
Pong game.
Pong game. Oh, yeah. 4 of them doing.
I know.
Right?
I feel like such an old man. I'm like, kids these days on their phones. They should
sitting on a swing.
They should be climbing trees.
Right. So, actually, I've been talking about this. I think it's a great idea. But this is the one thing I really worry about.
Okay.
You give them freedom. You let them go. What are they going to do with it? They're going to go to the PC room and play. Who knows?
Do your kids express a desire to do that?
He likes games.
Okay.
I mean, he's too young to go to the PC room.
I also loved games. I grew up on all my consoles as a kid.
But they were in the house, right?
There was the game thing, the game.
Game Boy, yeah.
I used to take it to my friend's house, connect the cables, but I got bored after maybe an hour and a half, and then we'd go out.
Right.
So it was a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so of course he's young, all his friends are doing it, you want to get involved on the popular game.
Right.
So you're trying to maybe, combat or...
Right, persuade? I just think the whole idea of freedom in this is the point.
Yeah.
But I think it was much easier in earlier generations when they didn't have the whole world at their fingertips.
Right.
Through smartphones.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that makes this more difficult for me.
Yeah, and there's not just games, of course, social media now. People want to be social, but through a screen. So, with the tick things and, Insta things.
Right.
It's a different world for sure, and I can't imagine how frustrating or challenging it can be at times when you run into these problems as a parent.
Right. And also, that's a reason why parents want their kids to have structured activities.
Right.
Right? If you're at Taekwondo, you're not looking at your phone. If you're at the math or the blah, blah, blah academy, you're not looking at your phone. So, I mean, that's definitely a reason that free-range parenting would be less appealing.
Okay.
Compared to the past.
So you found a way, or at least it's an everlasting journey, but to maybe, corroborate with your wife to have a mix of, structure, but freedom and do things well.
I mean, it's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great thing for every parent to think about.
Yeah.
Right. Or, if you're taking care of children, even if you're a teacher, what is the balance between their freedom and the structure and making sure that they have the opportunity to learn by themselves through their own actions.
Yeah.
So for one good kind of topical example, it's hot outside. It's 1st of August. And where are a lot of people going these days?
To the beach.
The beach.
Yes.
Right. And I'll see a lot of people where I'll let my daughter, she's 3, so start early.
Okay, that is early, yeah.
She runs into the water.
Okay.
She's really excited, and she'll get wiped out by a wave.
Okay.
Right?
Cute.
It's cute. And I go pick her up and grab her.
Right.
But a lot of people on the beach watch me, and they look at me like I'm a crazy person.
왜 저래?
Yeah. It's like, 다치겠다. I'm like, but...
Yeah.
She learns, she comes back stronger.
Yeah.
Next time, she's not going to get knocked down by the wave.
For real. Or she'll see a wave and she'll be back and wait for it to come.
Yeah, or she'll give it a taekwondo punch or something, right? So I think this is an ongoing topic for parents.
For real.
Every day, whatever you're doing, there's constantly this... what is it? A dilemma, a choice between do I let my child experience this and learn from it, or Is it always safety first?
Hey, lots of things to think about here. Anyone who's a parent, great things to think about. And if you're not a parent, still great things to think about. I know I'm going to consider these things hopefully sometime in the future. Matthew, thank you so much for coming in and filling in. It was a really interesting topic.
Yes. It's nice to meet you.
It was lovely to meet you. Hopefully I'll see you around.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. We're going to take a song break to finish the first half, but then we will be back with the second half, so don't go anywhere. This is Wherever You Are by Martin Garrix.
BEFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
부산영어 방송에서는 글로벌 허브 도시 부산의 차세대 글로벌 리더들을 위한 청소년 영어 말하기 대회를 개최합니다.
BFM has organized the English Speech Contest for the next leaders of the global hub city, Busan.
전통이 숨쉬는 문화교육 특구, 동래구의 청소년 홍보대사들이 이야기하는 세계 속의 도시로 발돋움할 동네는 어떤 모습일까요?
From the inspiring stories of the final 10 students of Dongdaegu, one of the representative cities in Busan, we can draw the future of Dongdae as well look forward to the bright future of the global hub city, Busan.
치열한 예선을 거쳐 선발된 최종 10명의 본선 대결, 그리고 참가 학생 모두가 함께 도전하는 팀 대항 퀴즈를 통해 지역 청소년들이 꿈꾸는 동네와 부산의 미래를 그려봅니다.
We invite you to the Dongdaegu English Speech Contest with BFM, the finals.
8월 24일 오후 2시 부산교육대학교에서 열리는 부산영어방송과 함께하는 동래구 영어 말하기 대회에 여러분의 많은 관심 부탁드립니다.
This event is hosted by Dongdae District Office and organized by BFM, 부산영어방송.
time is now 3 o'clock.
Staring at the ocean from a window on the hillside. A million boats are floating on the high tide. I wanna be a million miles from here. I wanna know what everybody wants to know. Oh, won't you tell me what everybody wants to know? I thought it was just us waiting on this bus, waiting on a gust of wind to blow us away, away to better days, away to better days. Underneath the starry skies, I'm tired, you're wide. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Don't wanna bore you, totally adore you. I wanna go where everybody wants to go. Please will you tell me where everybody wants to go? I thought it was just us waiting on this bus, waiting on a gust of wind to blow us away, away to better days, away to better days.
You just listened to Bus by Travis. What a song. You know, I'm personally a huge Travis fan. Ever since, back in the day from the 90s, I believe. Why Does It Always Rain on Me, Side, Sing, classic songs. And this was Bus by Travis. Now, Travis are a Scottish rock band, and they've shared a new single called Bus. And the track is the third single from their 10th studio album, LA Times. 10 albums. They've been around for a long time. Now, their frontman, Fran Healy, said in a statement, "I was on holiday staring out the window, watching all the boats bobbing on the sea. I was trying to write a song and nothing was coming. It reminded me of all the years I spent waiting on buses. Never think it's going to come, but if you wait long enough, it usually turns up. Looking out at the sea at all the little sailing boats, I imagined all the bands and artists sitting in them, waiting on that freak gust of wind to blow them to fame and fortune." What an interesting take. Now, I totally know where he's coming from. I'm not a singer-songwriter myself, but some of my favourite artists, like Noel Gallagher of Oasis, they've mentioned the writer's block. They're just staring, they can't think of anything, but then they have an epiphany, and then they start having ideas as well. If you get the chance, listen to a lot of Travis. They have some amazing songs. Welcome back, everyone, to the program anyway. It is the 2 p.m. reboot. My name is Nick. I'm filling in for Casey while he's away for some personal matters. And you can listen to us on BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Dongguan and Doksan areas. You can also listen to us in Seoul at TBS EFM 101.3 FM, GFN Gwangju 98.7 FM as well. We got some messages coming in as well relating to our text topic. I asked you, what is your favorite Olympic sport and why? 여러분이 올림픽에서 가장 좋아하시는 종목이 무엇인지 알려주시면 됩니다. We had some people saying ping pong, which I totally agree with as well. We have Ben Nim on YouTube Live, hello my friend, saying, as for my favorite Olympic sport, I like all disciplines of Cheryl's daughter. Now, Cheryl is the original guest for this show. Like soccer and windsurfing. Among others, she can do 100 push-ups at a time. So, windsurfing is such an interesting sport. If you head down to the beach in like Gwangali or Songjeong, you'll see lots of people doing windsurfing these days. It looks so fun. I really want to try it myself, but I'm not really sure how. I'm sure you can get in contact with some travel agencies and give it a go, but it looks like a lot of fun. Well, everyone, I'm going to let you know what's coming up in this second hour of the show. We're going to have daily lists. Now, there's a list for everything, and we'll find them all. Daily list covers all the lists from the best of to the worst of. And today's topic is Olympic Games firsts. We've also got Inside Korea, where I let you know important updates on the country in which we live. These include National Museum drawing record numbers of foreign visitors to January to June, the Blue House extending reservation hours, opens more gates for visitors, and Korea is selected as Destination of the Year by the British Travel magazine. We've also got Perfect Playlist coming your way, where we pick the best songs for every situation. I'm going to remind you of today's text topic one more time. What is your favorite Olympic sport and why? 여러분이 올림픽에서 가장 좋아하시는 종목이 무엇인가요? Let me know. Send your answers to pound 9050, 샵 9050, which will cost you 101, or a Kakao Talk message. You can search for BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Add us. Make a friend with us, send a message for free as well. If you don't like that, you can just use the smartphone app. Once again, search for BEFM or 부산영어방송 at any app store. You can listen to our programs and leave us comments after logging in as well. We're going to be right back with our daily list after this next song. The Boy Is Mine remix by Ariana Grande, Brandy and Monica. just listened to The Boy Is Mine remix by Ariana Grande, Brandy and Monica. You're listening to 2 p.m. Reboot. I'm your host Nick. It's now 3:11 in the afternoon and it's now time for Daily List. Now, there is a list for everything, and we're gonna find them all. Our text topic today is actually about today's daily list topic, which is Olympic Games first. We're all about Olympics right now. Our text topic was asking you, what is your favorite Olympic sport? 가장 좋아하시는 올림픽 종목이 무엇인지 좀 알려주시면 되는데요. We have 4693번님 saying, 양궁이요. Archery. 한국 선수들이 금메달을 거의 휩쓸 때마다 너무 짜릿합니다. You know, the Koreans, they're like next level at archery. Next level just means incredible. They always get the gold medal, or they always get some medal, and they really show how it is with accuracy. I think it's an accuracy thing, because I also saw a different sport which was like with a gun. It was like a laser gun, and the athletes are so cool the way they just kind of point it and just, hit the bullseye. I think there's something in the food, something in the genetics, but Korean athletes' accuracy is just insane. It's next level. But today's topic for Daily List is about Olympic Games first. Every 4 years since 1896, the Olympics have gone on without fail. Even amidst wars, civil rights tensions, and various individual tragedies, the Games have championed on, continuing to showcase the fittest our countries have to offer, and the fittest countries overall. For those overwhelmed by more pressing matters than javelins and pole vaults and relay races, these determined athletes provide a great source of inspiration and hope. But we didn't always have such fail-safe outlets in which to instill our pride. It's just like the human race has come a long way since its original inception, so here are 10 Olympic firsts. First up is the first recorded games. The first recorded games occurred in Olympia, hence the name Olympics, which is in Greece in 776 BC. They could have occurred earlier, but no written record can account for anything otherwise. Now, this was back in Greece's polytheistic days, in which these games were held in honor of Zeus and also a test of human greatness. The ancient games were much different than today's games, as they were played only amongst the Greeks and also mostly men at the time. Completely different reasons right there. Also, we have the first modern games. So, the first modern games were held in 1896 in Athens, Greece once again, kicking off with a 100-meter dash as the first event. The first champion was named James Brendan Connolly of the US, who won the triple jump at the last game of the modern Olympics. Another first happened during these games as well. The first brothers to win gold medals, John and Sumner Payne of the US, won the military pistol and free pistol shooting events respectively. Now, I'm not from the US, but the US seems to do incredibly well at all of the Olympics. We also have first female athletes. Now, like we said, way back when, thousands of years ago, it was mostly men who participated. But women first competed in the modern games in the 1900 Olympics held in Paris. But there is documentation suggesting a woman named Bilistish competed in the ancient games. During the 1900 games, however, the first female champion was Charlotte Cooper of England, who won the tennis singles. Now, the first woman to compete and the first woman to win a gold medal in the modern Olympics was Swiss sailor Helen de Portales, a member of the boating crew. Next, we have first black athletes. Now, this is another first in the 1900 Olympics, occurred in the first black competitor, Constantin Enriquez de Zubieta of France. The first to win, however, was not until 8 years later in the form of John Taylor, who was on the US relay team. Additionally, the first black African from Ethiopia to win gold was Abebe Akila in the 1960 Games in Rome, running a marathon, and he also did it completely barefoot. These are some incredible achievements achieved throughout history, and what's surprising is they happened a long time ago, over 100 years ago, so we can see the Olympics becoming more and more diverse as the time goes on, which is fantastic to see. We're going to be back with some more tips and facts you didn't know about the Olympics. Before that, we're going to take a song break. This is Every Breath You Take by The Police. That was Every Breath You Take by The Police, welcoming you back to 2 p.m. Reboot. I'm your host, Nick, and we are in the middle of our daily list. And today, we're talking about none other than the Olympics. There's a lot going on right now. It's Olympic fever, so we're letting you know some firsts about the Olympics with some really interesting facts. Up next, we have first mascot. You know, a lot of people think you can't properly cheer for the home team without the help of, a man or a lady shamelessly dressed in a giant plushy animal costume, or for that matter, an animal shamelessly dressed in a plushy man costume. Anyway, the first mascot was introduced to the Olympics during the 1972 Munich Games in Germany. His name was Waldy the Dachshund. Waldy, depicted in cartoon form, was a blue wiener dog, the sausage dogs, and appeared to be wearing a rainbow-coloured sweater. I think mascots are cute. In England, we don't really do mascots. If you ever watch a Premier League EPL game, you don't see mascots. It's not really an English thing. It seems more of an Olympic or an American thing as well. It's fun, nonetheless. Up next, we have the first involving 5 current continents. And this happened in the 1912 Stockholm, Sweden Games, when Japan joined as the first Asian country to participate. Also occurring during this game was the Olympic-related death. Unfortunately, after running 29 kilometers, Francisco Lazaro collapsed due to sunstroke and heart problems, dying the next day. And I think that's why it's ever so important in this heat to make sure you're staying cool, in shade, and hydrated as well. Up next is the first uses of television, because before this date, which was 1936, you had to go and watch it live, or maybe the replays in the cinema. But in 1936, the Berlin Olympics were the first to be televised, displayed on giant screens all over Berlin. Now, England was the first to have the games broadcast into its homes when the 1948 London Olympics were televised. And the first game to be broadcast into homes internationally was during the 1960 Rome Olympics. It's only through advances in television that onlookers can watch the games from around the world with an immediate sense of national pride. I think it's really something that we might even take for granted, right? We get to watch the Olympics from another country in our home screens and just cheer on for our teams. What's even better, for me personally, whether it's the Olympics or even the World Cup or a big major sporting event, I love to go to a pub, not to drink, maybe a little bit, but go and cheer on with my friends and all the people around me for our countries. It just kind of gives you that sporting spirit. It makes the Olympics and the World Cup just that much more special, I think. And that concludes today's daily list, going over some firsts in the Olympics. Hope you found that kind of interesting. We're going to take a song break, which is actually one of the official songs from the Paris Olympics. This is Hello World by Gwen Stefani and Anderson .Paak. We just listened to Hello World by Gwen Stefani and Anderson .Paak, and that was the official song for the Olympics as well. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far, beating the heat, staying cool, and just having a good day in general. Thanks for joining me. We've got some messages coming in. We have 24691님 saying it's hot today. It is very hot indeed. Please stay cool. 미옥스텔리님 messaging in saying good afternoon, Nick. Happy August. 2시간 동안 목소리 들을 수 있어서 좋아요. Smiley face. Thank you for joining in, my friend, and thank you for catching me at this time as well. It's interesting because I used to do duo shows, right, with David, with Mia, with Stephanie, so I always had a break. I'm not saying I don't like this. I'm saying I always talked, but then someone else would talk and I would listen and we'd have a conversation. So this is a very different dynamic, but I love it. And at least I have you guys to communicate with. Thank you very much for coming in and saying hello. Summonim as well saying 닉이 요즘 여러 프로에 지원해 주느라 고생이 많네요. 대신 청취자는 닉 목소리를 들을 수 있어서 좋아요. 아이고 감사합니다. Summonim, thank you for coming in. Your name perfectly reflects the season, which I love. Anyway, everybody, keep sending your messages in #9050 샵 9050 or a Kakao Talk message. It is now time for Inside Korea. Now, every Wednesday and Thursday, I let you know some important updates in the country in which we live. Starting off with the National Museum drawing record numbers of foreign visitors to January and June, or from January to June. Now, the number of foreign visitors to the National Museum of Korea hit a record high of 94,951 in the first half of this year, according to museum officials. The figure represents a 34.5% increase from 70,585 a year ago and a 55.6% rise from pre-pandemic levels in 2019, they said. They expect the annual number of foreign visitors to reach 200,000 this year if the current trend continues. The museum attributes the rise to its efforts to diversify exhibition contents, aligning with growing global interest in Korean culture and an increase in foreign visitors to the country. And we talked a bit about this yesterday, but you might notice a lot more tourists and expats on the streets, and it's a good thing for the economy as well. It's great that people are now interested in Korean culture and are coming to visit the country. Our next piece of news is Blue House extending reservation hours, opening more gates for visitors. The Blue House is changing its policies to accommodate more visitors by extending the online reservation closing time and opening more gates for entry, the Cheongwadae Foundation said. The closing time for online reservations will be extended from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. starting today. On-site admissions, exclusively available to older adults, national meritorious persons and foreigners, will be shortened, changing from 5:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. And this is to reduce confusion and increase opportunities to visit the Blue House, according to the foundation. Now, I've never been to the Blue House, but I've been around it. I think I've been around the old one. It wasn't far from Insadong, right? I used to go around that area and I always wanted to go visit, but I never got the chance to. Maybe this will be a good chance to visit. The Blue House will also be accommodating group visits through the Chunchumun Gate, providing a more comfortable and pleasant enrichment or environment for visitors. Groups of 11 or more visitors will enter through the Chunchumun Gate, reducing the confusion due to crowds concentrated at the main gate and speeding up the entry process, providing convenient access to nearby Chunchugwan building and restoration facilities, said the foundation. Now, a representative of the Cheongwadae Foundation said, "We prioritize providing a comfortable and pleasant environment for visitors to fully appreciate the value and charm of the Blue House, which is open to the public. We'll continue trying to make the Blue House more comfortable and approachable, bringing it closer to the people." And I think this is fantastic for anyone who wants to maybe visit this place. It's a great opportunity to have a bit more time to go and visit if you're ever in the area in Seoul. We'll be back with more news for this segment in Inside Korea. Before that, we're going to take a quick song break. This is New Light by John Mayer. We just listened to New Light by John Mayer. Welcoming you back to 2 p.m. Reboot. My name is Nick, and we're in the middle of Inside Korea, where we go over some hot topics, some hot pieces of news that are happening related to the country. And we're moving on to our next piece, our third news, which is a good one, I think. Remember a few years back, I think it was a few years back, the Lonely Hangsang, the book, it voted Busan as the city of the year, right? And that was a great thing. Everyone could come to Busan. I think the city was getting the recognition it deserved. And in this piece of news, I think it's pretty similar, but this time for the whole country, as Korea has been selected as destination of the year by a British travel magazine. Now, Korea was selected as the destination of the year by British travel magazine Wanderlust and featured as its cover story. The Korea Tourism Organization announced last week that the magazine's August to September issue dedicated its cover and 27 pages, that's a lot, to showcase Korea. Established in 1993, Wanderlust is the longest-running travel magazine in Britain, with a circulation of 138,000 copies, the highest for any independent travel magazine in the country. Its website receives 1.8 million page views monthly from readers across 70 countries. Now, the magazine said it decided to write an in-depth story about a country per issue, starting with its August to September issue, and Korea has been selected as the first country. That's quite an honor. The first country dedicated for this magazine issue is Korea. And I think that's going to put it on the map in an even bigger way. More people might even flock here to visit. Now, George Kiporis, the editor-in-chief, said that through the Korea Tourism Organization, that he saw relatively few foreign travelers in Korea, despite travelers' interests in the country. Now, Kiporis added that the country wasn't crowded, people were very friendly, and the prices were great. You know, when I lived in England, there was a lot of people would say, I want to go to Asia. And then you'd say, where in Asia? Oh, I don't know, maybe Japan. And that was the case, a few decades ago. But these days, Korea has been really put on the map, and for good reason, I think. Now, the cover story on Korea provides detailed guides to things you can do in the country. It recommended these cultural heritage tours in Gyeongju, in North Gyeongsang, and in Andong, North Gyeongsang, Seoul, Suwon, Gyeonggi, and Jeju. I've personally been to a few of these places. I think, personally, I went to Andong, the, Hahue Munamaul, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I actually rode around that beautiful city on a Segway, and then tried the Andong soju, which is quite famous there. And I also had a jimdak, right? It's also famous there as well. I recommend Andong, definitely for visitors, and Gyeongju. You don't need to say anything. Gyeongju is beautiful. The story also highlighted hiking and walking trails in Mount Jiri, Mount Horak, and Mount Bukhan as well as Suncheon Bay in Pyeongchang and Gangwon as well. The article also offers experience centered on K-pop, K-dramas, and K-movies as well. The issue additionally added features 2 pages of food recommendations, 6 pages of accommodation options, and a quiz for readers to test their knowledge about Korea. I'm interested to try that. I feel like I've been in Korea for 11 years now, but there's so much I don't know. I'm going to take this test maybe and see if I actually know a lot about this country. Nonetheless, it's a moment of great pride for the country, and I think it's really great that it's been featured on the first page of this Wanderlust huge travel magazine. We're going to take a song break and then we'll be right back with Perfect Playlist. This is Lost in Space by Foster the People. We just listened to Lost in Space by Foster the People. Now, honestly, that was my first time hearing the song, and I was jamming along to it, right? And I was like, oh, it sounds like an old song. 약간 좀 70년대, 80년대 느낌이 났는데 I was informed that it came out this year. 올해 5월에 나왔더라고요. It came out in May. It's got that old vibe, and I love it. I'm going to have to listen to this more. But that was Lost in Space by Foster the People. Lots of good music on this show. I'm loving that so far. And even more music is going to come out now because it's time for Perfect Playlist. Do you need the perfect songs for the perfect situation? Well, Perfect Playlist picks the best songs for every situation. And this week we've got the same running theme. And this week's theme is songs about the moon. Lots of great songs about the moon. We've been playing 2 songs every day. So I'm going to let you know what these songs are. And I had a little look at these earlier, and they're bangers. Now, bangers means an absolute great tune in British English. The first song is Shoot the Moon by Norah Jones. This song is about a girl who misses her summer days and tries something difficult, but unfortunately fails. She feels sad and lonely because of it, and she thinks about all the time she was alone and wonders if it was just because of the time of year. Now, when fall comes or autumn comes, she can't move on and remembers her past love, who also felt lonely. She wonders if they were alone for the same reason she was. So this is a very reflective, almost semi-romantic, but more 좀 아쉬운 마음으로 that kind of song. Our second song is Dancing in the Moonlight, not by Toploader. This one is by King Harvest, the original. Now, this song envisions a place of joy and harmony where everyone gets along and dances under the moonlit sky. The song was used in the TV miniseries The 70s, and in it, one of the female characters happens to be present at the recording where the band is using the lyrics Singing in the Moonlight. The girl comments that she personally likes dancing in the moonlight. They changed the lyrics. Now, you might know the band Toploader. They had a number 7 hit in the UK with a cover of this song, and I think that's what made this song most popular. But this is the original. So we've got 2 great songs about the moon you're about to enjoy. The first song is Shoot the Moon by Norah Jones, and after that, it's Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. We just listened to two songs back to back. That was Shoot the Moon by Norah Jones and Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. I must say, that was the first time I've listened to the original version myself by King Harvest, and I loved it. It's very similar to the top-loader version, but it's got that kind of old한 느낌이 좀 있긴 있어가지고 되게 마음에 들었습니다. Love that song, and I hope you enjoyed today's perfect playlist as well. The time is now 3:52 in the afternoon, which means we've come to the end of today's show. It is the end of our Thursday show, but tomorrow, Friday is coming, the end of the week. I hope you're all as excited as I am about it. I want to thank you all for joining me and messaging in and getting involved with the show. I'll see you tomorrow as I start wrapping things up. I've been your host, Nick. Thank you for listening. Our last song is going to be Jack of Speed by Steely Dan. I'll see you tomorrow.